Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing something a little different. I'm going to be testing out a Pinterest recipe, and I got this recipe off of Simply Home Cooked Food blog on Pinterest, and I'll definitely leave it linked below for anybody wanting to try. But I'm not going to cut out any errors or any mistakes. We're just going to taste this as it is, since it is testing it out. So the first thing I did was I added some milk and some yeast to a measuring cup, and I set it aside to let the yeast bloom. When I was doing this recipe, it had both a short video and it had the actual written out recipe. I watched the video and I read the ingredients of the recipe, but I did not read the instructions, and that led me to many mistakes down the line, which you will see in a bit. But in the meantime, I went on and I moved on to my dry ingredients. I added 4.5 cups of all-purpose flour to my mixing bowl, and then I actually read the instructions of the recipe and realized I did the first step all wrong. So let's just start that again. I'm going to add my cup of milk to my measuring cup, and I'm going to warm the milk, which I did not do last time. And then I'm going to add both sugar and yeast. Again, forgot to add the sugar, and sugar is one of those things that yeast likes to eat. So I went ahead and added the sugar and the yeast, and then I dropped my yeast all over my counter. That was super great. And then I basically scooped it all back into my spoon. Luckily I had just cleaned my counter, so it was all gone. And I couldn't waste any more yeast. We already wasted yeast on the first batch. I ain't doing it again. And then I just gave it a good mix, and then I set it aside in a warm place. Okay, back to the dry ingredients. Now I'm going to go ahead and add in sugar and salt to the bowl. I went with 3 tablespoons of sugar and 2 teaspoons of salt. I just eyeballed the salt. And I'm just going to go ahead and let this mix through just to combine all the dry ingredients. And while that is mixing, I'm going to go ahead and crack 4 eggs into a cup or a glass. I just want to make sure that I don't have any eggshells in them. And then I'm going to add all of the eggs into our dry ingredients, as well as the yeast mixture, which has now had time to really activate. And we are just going to mix this for like 10 minutes on high, which sounded like a lot, but honestly it needs to be mixed for that long in order for this dough to be well combined. And just do your best to make sure the flour doesn't get everywhere, but honestly the flour will still get everywhere. Once there was no more flour that was visibly seen, I went ahead and added in the butter. I used a 1/2 cup of just soft butter, and then I'm just going to go ahead and just mix the butter through once more. The dough becomes very sticky, and don't worry about that, that's normal. And then on a floured surface, we are going to place our dough. We're just going to give it a quick knead, and we're just going to form it into a ball and then move on to the next step, which is to take a bowl that we have greased with our butter, and we're just going to set the dough in there and cover it with some saran wrap, and then we're going to let it rest for an hour. Okay, no, I did not do that. I only let it rest for 20 minutes because it was really late and I was hungry and I didn't want to wait an hour. So hopefully that doesn't affect the recipe too much. But anyways, now that 20 minutes has passed, our dough has actually rised. So I'm just going to once again put it onto a floured surface. I'm going to shape it just a little bit just so I can make it into more of a rectangular shape. And then I'm going to divide the dough into 8 pieces. Now taking one of the 8 pieces, I'm just going to form it into a ball by rolling it into itself and sort of rolling each end towards the bottom middle. And you get this cute little perfect ball. And then we are just going to do that 7 more times until they're all cute little balls. Then on a baking sheet lined with parchment paper, oh my goodness, I almost forgot the word there, we're gonna add all of our buns to it. We're gonna let this rest for 30 minutes. Or if you're me and you're super hungry, 20 minutes. But honestly, they did get a lot bigger, as you can see right there. And now I'm going to go ahead and take about 2 tablespoons of melted butter. You don't have to be too accurate with how much butter you use, and you just want to melt it and give each bun a good coating of butter. The recipe also called for sesame seeds, but I decided to forego those because I just didn't want them. And then I'm just bake these in the oven at 350 for 25 to 30 minutes. I checked on them 5 minutes prior to them being done. They weren't as brown as the ones on Pinterest, so I gave them another coat of butter for the last 5 minutes, and this did help brown them a bit. Overall, if I let these buns rest for as long as the recipe called, I would definitely divide them even more so because these turned out huge. But I really like this Pinterest recipe. It came out super good, and I would definitely suggest for you guys to give it a try if you are into brioche bun. I'll leave the link to the Pinterest recipe below, and I hope you guys liked this video. Hit the thumbs up if you did, subscribe for new videos every Monday and Thursday, and comment below for what Pinterest recipe you want me to test out next time. And until next time, bye!